right, let's go ahead and get started.
Great. Well, welcome everyone. I'm Peter Katz, the President and CEO of the Mountain View Chamber of Commerce, and we want to welcome you to our latest installment of the Back to Business series. Today we have an opportunity for the city to hear from the business community on the plans for Castro Street and on permit changes that can help businesses recover and grow. Tiffany Chew, Business Development Specialist for the city, is our special guest, and I'm going to hand it over to Tiffany.
Great. Thank you, Peter and the Chamber team for hosting me again to talk about Castro Street. What I want to do today is provide an update to everybody on where we are and what we're doing moving forward. So I thought I'd start off with the basics of the who, what, when, where. Who is involved. It's the city in partnership with the Downtown Association and the Chamber to support our businesses, downtown businesses, as they recover from this COVID-19 pandemic. And what are we doing? We are closing the 100 to 400 blocks of Castro Street. We will keep the cross streets open. So Evelyn, Villa, Dana, California, and Mercy Streets will stay open. I think the last time we talked was before council approved this. And so council did approve this pilot program, the street closures, with some basic components of it. And when are we doing this? The street closure happens next Monday, June 22nd. And we are hoping to formally launch this on Friday, June 24th. We are setting up a website. So once the website is live, we'll share it with Courtney. I'll share it with you so that we can share it with the rest of the team. And I talked a little bit about why we're doing this is we want to continue to support the businesses as they recover, and the county is allowing for outdoor dining. And at this point, what we would like to do is provide an open table format to the businesses for the community to use to go downtown and grab some food and eat downtown so they can do it in a safe manner. I would like to thank our partners on this. I mentioned the Downtown Association and the Chamber have been very critical in this, but I also want to give a shout out to Live Nation. Live Nation is letting us borrow bollards and picnic tables and some additional tables. And then also this Mountain View Wisdom School District, they are also lending us picnic tables to use for the summer. So thank you to those two partners for allowing us to move forward. And we're very proud that this has been a ongoing conversation with so many different organizations. What to expect come Monday, though, is we will be closing down the street. And we will first be focusing on setting up the bollards and actually safely closing the street. And then we will also be arranging the picnic tables. Now, I apologize, I don't have a visual in front of me, but what we're looking at is to place picnic tables on the street, on the right of way, so that folks can begin to enjoy some outdoor dining. Now, I think there's probably going to be some questions about what do businesses do with their sidewalk cafe permits? If they have it, I highly encourage the businesses who have it and haven't completed the process to please work with our planning team to complete the process, because you will be allowed to use those spaces with this street closure as well. I do want to emphasize that this is a pilot program. We want to get this program launched and see how it goes for the first week. And we are also looking for opportunities on how to improve upon the program as we move forward through the summer. I forgot to mention, it's going to be running through the end of September, so through September 30th. So this is intended to be throughout the summer. So as I said, this is a pilot program. We recognize that we need to have ongoing input with the businesses to make sure that it's working for everybody. We will be asking businesses to sign a waiver that ensures that workman's comp and and that piece of the liability component stays with the business, but we're finalizing that draft, and we'll share it with the downtown businesses as soon as we have it. And what we're hoping to do with this piece is to work with each business via email to get this signed, so that they can so people can use the tables. So that's a basic overview of what we plan to do. As I said, this is going to be a very dynamic and fluid pilot program. We will have, like I said, we will be relying a lot on the Chamber and the Downtown Association to work with us to address issues as they come up.
Before we open for questions, thank you, Tiffany. Before we open for questions, Peter, are there any other points that you'd like to mention about the upcoming program, just to make sure that we answer as many questions as possible? Because I know that you've worked closely with Tiffany on this.
Yeah, so there are a few things that need to be considered, in that there is outdoor seating and then there's outdoor seating in the street. These are really two very different things. One things are part of your restaurant or your facility. Others are this new area where the picnic tables will be. And if you choose to simply have outdoor seating, there are a number of guidelines that you need to follow that have been given by the county. So for example, you still need to maintain social distancing in lines and at tables, which must be placed 6 feet apart. Only members of the same household can be at the same table. Masks are required by employees and any patrons entering an open business. Employees must wear them even if they're outside. Walls and dividers are allowed indoors, but should not be used outdoor, as they prevent free airflow. And also they kind of look interesting too. You need to continue to offer curbside pickup, takeout, and or delivery options. The feeling being that that is not only great for your patrons, but it also will reduce in-person exchanges. There are permits that are needed allowing you to serve outside. If you do not have a permit already, there is a process in place for you to get one. And it involves extending your current business footprint and filing a permit with the city. And you can only serve alcohol to customers who are ordering food. That's the direction from the county in terms of outdoor dining.
And Patrick, I have one more thing to add regarding parking is we are also adding more short-term parking in all of our lots and structures. We're designating 24-minute parking zones so that businesses can continue to, so we can continue to support businesses with their takeout needs.
Okay, so that's a really good overview of what's happening and what to expect. And we suspect that there's going to be some questions. I see some hands raised. So Courtney is our moderator. Courtney, you want to work through the questions with our attendees?
Definitely. All right. So we had a few hands being raised. So I'm just going to go in the order that I see them. So first we have Nancy G. Nancy, I'm going to go ahead and allow you to talk, and then you will need to unmute yourself.
Thank you. I apologize that I'm kind of coming a little late into the picture. I just wanted to get a little more details as far as I understand the timing is going to go from June to September tentatively, but is the street going to be closed 24/7? In other words, it's not going to be open at all during that period for cross traffic. I mean, not cross, I'm sorry, on Castro Street. Is that the intention?
Correct, Nancy. The intention is to have a 24/7 closure.
So then there would be no access as far as deliveries and that type of thing. They would have to go through the backsides.
Correct. We recognize that this may have an impact in the alleyways. That's why we wanted to keep the side streets open, the cross streets open. and why we're also designating more short-term parking.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. I'm going to go ahead and mute you now. And let's see, next on our list, we have Angela Pace. Angela, same deal. I'm going to allow you to talk and you'll need to unmute yourself.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for hosting this. I definitely have several questions regarding this. And so I guess it might just be easiest if I kind of rattle them off and hopefully you'll remember. I'm happy to repeat some stuff too. But first of all, with regards to the communal tables and the whole communal area, who's going to be responsible for cleaning that? Because the county does have strict guidelines regarding sanitation and disinfection. And so will the city be providing sanitation monitors or safety stewards, if you will, doing this?
So we're working with the Downtown Association to identify the sanitation needs, and at this point, I believe the Downtown Association is looking for a team to be responsible for the sanitation needs.
That's four city blocks that they have to cover. That's going to be quite a team, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't. Okay. And then the ABC component of it. I mean, obviously, I know a lot of towns in the area have this fantasy of these pedestrian walking downtowns, and this has clearly been taken advantage of by all the towns in the area. But I don't know how well thought out. There's been other towns right now that have done this, and it's been with mixed results, to be honest with you, from what I understand. And so with the alcohol component, now everybody able to run around, who's going to be responsible for that and the monitoring of that, and whose liability is that going to fall under? The city?
So we're in conversations with, I believe the county is aware of this, and they're trying to address these concerns because it's there, as you mentioned, Angela, multiple cities are closing on the streets. So county is working with ABC to figure out what the best path forward is, starting with how do you take in applications to how you working with how the ABC will work in this situation.
Yeah, but most of the other cities aren't providing communal areas. They're just closing the downtown. So the liability is a lot different because if you have now restaurants having to take over, sidewalks or parking spaces, then obviously they can get an expanded ABC license, a temporary one, if not anything else. And so to have the entire, 4 city blocks closed, that's a whole different game. And then having the responsibility for sanitation as well, those are huge undertakings. And so with it being, happening in less than a week and not having any of these answers, it's a little bit unsettling, to be quite honest. I'm not quite sure how that's going to all work out. And I know this is a pilot program, but how are you deciding on if it's like, what are the determining factors for calling it a success?
I think that's a really good question of how do we define the success? I mean, I think part of it, the success is seeing the businesses ensuring that we're meeting the needs of the businesses, that with additional dining, but at the same time, I think success can be viewed with the social distancing and making sure that folks are complying to what these rules and regulations will be. So it's a little bit of both, making sure that people comply, but then also are seeing that the business needs are being met.
And so who's going to be policing the social distancing?
So we're also working that out. I apologize. There's still a lot of things that we're quickly moving in a very fast pace and figuring out kind of who's going to be what the compliance is. I mean, at this point, it's the county that is responsible for all the compliance. So I know that there is a hotline where people can call in. So we'll make sure that information is also provided.
Okay. And you had mentioned short-term parking. When will you have a map of that and be able to share which spaces or which areas are designated for this?
That's rolling out next week as well. So once we have all this information, we'll share it on the city website, and we'll share it with all the businesses.
Yeah. So, having friends in different towns in the area, I know some towns have been, everybody I think is meaning well,
Yeah.
and wants to help each other. I mean, the towns and the chambers want to help the businesses, and certainly, I know, speaking for us, I mean, we're certainly grateful for that. But what we've seen and heard from other places is that sometimes that, while everybody's anxious to try to get things back and almost normalize as best as we can, given the situation, the problem is that things sometimes are rushed, and communication isn't going out, not only to the merchants, but to the public. So for example, I know that San Carlos had closed down their Laurel, the main street, and there wasn't any communication going out to residents. And it was a mess in town because they didn't realize, people just didn't know. And it was just too rushed. And so there was just traffic incidences, there was just congestion, it was just a mess. And there was nobody sitting, the restaurants didn't have tables out because they couldn't do it fast enough. It was just, it just didn't have the, results that it was a great intention, but just didn't have the results because it was just too rushed. And so I'm just concerned with it, again, being 5 days away, that let's just say the short-term parking. Now, most restaurants up and down Castro, they use services like DoorDash or Grubhub and so forth. Well, those drivers, I mean, there's going to need time to communicate all this information to those drivers. Otherwise, they're going to be taking up spaces or just throwing their cars, which quite frankly, they do right now anyways. They'll throw them wherever. And it's going to make it that much harder for residents who are really trying to attract here to come down. And it's going to create even more problems because residents are not, whether it's, pre-COVID or in the situation now, people don't like walking. They just don't like walking. And so we know that just historically, that's just how it is. If somebody can pull up in front of your store, that's what they're going to do. If you have to have them park a block or two or three away in a parking structure, it's a big turnoff. I mean, for whatever reason, psychological barrier or whatever. Okay, but if you have a bunch of Door Dashers parking in spaces, throwing their cars wherever, where residents or people that you're trying to track into the downtown cannot get into now and are dealing with different delivery drivers, it's going to be a big turnoff for everybody. And so that's another concern I have. So I just would I share these concerns in the hopes that you can take these into consideration as you are, rolling your plan out in a few days, because whether it's not just us sitting here on a Zoom meeting that have to know these things. And, there's a much, much bigger population that has to know this, whether it's a DoorDasher, driver or the community. And I'm just really concerned that we're not going to have that. And I just want to share that with you in the hope that you guys can get it squared away by then.
Yeah, no, this is really great input. I mean, and why we're continuing to meet with the downtown businesses. I think we're on an every other week schedule of hosting an open forum for the downtown businesses. And I mean, I think we have to think about it this way: is that at this point we're closing the street and we're putting picnic tables out for a park-like setting, as so that we can work through these issues. And I know that this ABC issue is a particularly big one for the businesses because, the county and the state have to still work that out too. So I'd say, once again, this is a pilot program. We know that we're going to have to make adjustments as we go. And Angela, I think the best thing we can do is we can continue these conversations to make sure that as we're moving forward, that we are addressing as many concerns as possible.
Thank you.
Thank you, Angela. We have a couple of questions in the Q&A, and then we will get to the rest of the raised hands. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. We will do our best to get to everyone and answer every question as possible. We have two questions. Do I need a permit for for the on Castro dining, street dining / picnic table use?
So there won't be a permit. What we're going to ask the businesses to sign is a waiver that waives that waives the workman's compensation, and that that the restaurant also abides by the COVID-19 health orders and the social distancing. So staff is quickly drafting that, and we'll be working very closely with the businesses to sign this waiver. It's going to be a one-page waiver, so that at least gets us to this this park-like setting in the downtown.
Thank you. One more question from the Q&A. Is there a map showing the number of tables and table placement?
Yes, we're putting together a map too. We will share this with the businesses as well.
All right. Thank you so much. Let's go to our next raised hand. We have Marina Keith.
Hi there. Can you hear me? Hi.
Yes.
So I just have a question regarding the licensing permitting for the outdoor dining and the fee associated with that, since, you know, we're not going to be using this the whole year. And I remember it being something like $1,600 for the permit to be issued. And I assume we don't have to, of course, we don't have to have those planters anymore. But I'm just wondering about the fee. Is that going to be waived as well? Or I guess maybe prorated or something like that, since I guess since we're not going to be using it all year round?
So I think, Marina, you're referring to our sidewalk cafe permits.
Yes, yes.
So
correct.
yeah, so I think what I want to do with the sidewalk cafe permit questions is I do want to defer those to our downtown planner to help to have her work with the businesses who are interested in when applying for a sidewalk cafe permit permit. The fees at this point are not being waived, but they are being deferred for the downtown businesses who currently have a sidewalk cafe permit. We are asking that the businesses complete the application, have it complete and signed, and provide us the insurance, and then we'll work with the businesses to pay for the fee later this year.
So is the insurance still $2 million?
I believe so, yes. And Marina, we can follow up with exact information.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Marina. Let me do that. And then we had some more questions come into the Q&A. So going in chronological order. Mark Kelly would like to ask, why not let each business take control of the space in front of their property? We will be responsible for all sanitizing, and all relevant ABC laws are enforced and adhered to.
So at this point, in order to roll out some form of singing in the downtown, we have to move forward with this park-like setting because it allows for us to do this in a fairly expedited manner. And we also wanted to provide opportunities for the restaurants who are on the side streets or who have limited frontage on Castro Street. So with this first round, we are trying to be as fair and equitable as we can for all the businesses because we're recognizing that not all of them have exact frontage on Castro Street. And so as we move forward, you know, we can, once we get the street closed and get the picnic tables out, we are willing to talk with the businesses about what the additional opportunities are.
Thank you, Tiffany. We have another one from John. What area am I allowed to occupy in the street? We will have to allow customers into the street. Oh, I am so sorry. Will we have to allow customers into the restaurant to use the restroom? Will there be increased police force to manage the increased amount of pedestrian traffic? Will open container laws be lifted for this area? Do we need to submit changes with ABC for our area of service?
So if your business already has a sidewalk cafe, you can occupy the space within the designated sidewalk cafe. But for the picnic tables, those will be open to the public. So it will be a first come, first serve. So we'll have to use that, go with that for now. I believe per the county order is that restaurants can have their customers use their restroom. I think we'll have to add that into our FAQs. And then we also are going to have a set of rules to help manage pedestrian traffic and reminding people to keep a 6-foot distance. We are identifying a pathway through the street closure on the street so that there can be people walking through without bumping into the table. So we are working that into our site plan. Both from an emergency access standpoint, but also from an accessibility standpoint, is to make sure that there is a clear path of travel on the street. And then with the ABC license, at this point, it still needs to be worked out. And once we have information, we will share it with you.
Thank you so much. All right, we'll take a couple more of the Q&A and then we'll go to the raised hands. This one is from Jean. We don't have servers to serve our tables. We just want to encourage our customers to use the tables. How will we know the restaurant seating people will not use up all the tables?
I think once again, I think it's going to be on a first come first serve. But once we get the picnic tables out, I think there's, there still may be some additional space. So Jean will have, once again, we'll have to work with the businesses. I think over next week as we get the site plan finalized and see where is room for opportunity.
Okay, great. This one comes from Julia. Are there any similar plans to help part of the downtown closer to El Camino with the outdoor seating?
So in the other parts of Castro Street, I'd love to talk with you also directly to see what we can do. There may be an opportunity to do sidewalk cafe dining in your parking spaces in front of you. But it can also talk with you about what your specific needs are.
Awesome. This one's from Jonathan. Is it food court style or restaurants or cafes can serve the customers directly?
So it is food court style. However, if a restaurant wants to serve the people at the table, I think that'll be fine. Once again, we're going to have to see how this goes and what the demand is for the table service. And I apologize, I'm being so vague because I think at this point we want to see what the response will be from the community. I think Angela from Blue Line brought up a really good example of San Carlos and the reaction that they got from the community is, so far people are very supportive. The community is so excited to see this happen. But at the same time, we want to see what the response is and see how it works.
Definitely, couldn't agree more. We have another question. Tiffany said the program will start Monday, but launched on Friday. Can we use tables starting Monday?
So we have to get the waiver done first, and then we're closing the street. And so, like I said, the official launch will be Friday. If we can do a soft launch sooner than that, we will be. So we'll let the businesses know. I recognize that the next week with communications is going to be critical. So that's why our partnership with the Downtown Association is fantastic. So I say, make sure you check your emails, but we will be, we will be walking around and making sure that everybody knows what's going on.
All right, thank you. We have a question from John. Is there a place where we will be able to find a summary of this information?
Yes, I'm coordinating with the Chamber and the Downtown Association, put all of this together in terms of what to expect on Monday, what the businesses need to do. Yes, there will be a summary for the businesses to follow.
That's also a good time to say, if you're not receiving the Chamber emails, you need to let us know, because this information will also be in our newsletter. So you can just click the link and be able to find all the information as soon as it's available. So make sure you sign up. Let's see here. We've got a couple of raised hands. So Sarah, I'm gonna allow you to talk. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, everyone. This question is kind of a major one. I just thought of it since we've even spoke, and that is, has the open seating plan been approved by the Department of Public Health in regards to their stay-at-home order? Because other towns are doing designated. Does a park-like setting negate that, or has that been verified?
I'll have to see, because for us, we got city council approval. So I am
county. Department of Public Health. I sent them a question. I just haven't had the response yet. And that was raised by somebody at ABC telling me, just look into it, she said. And then just to all the participants, I did talk to a licensing rep at ABC a couple hours ago who stated that we do share liability even with this plan. So when signing up, just have that word of caution in your mind.
Thank you, Sarah.
That's it for me. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. According to the guidelines we received from the county, though, the setup should be in compliance with all of the rules in terms of distancing and in terms of safety. They're very similar to the ones that are currently in place in public parks.
Okay, thank you. Let's see here. Where did my Q&A? There it is. Let's see, we have a question. What are the sanitation procedures for the outdoor seating area? Is the expectation that your team will be on top of it to ensure all tables and chairs are properly sanitized after every use?
So yes, that's what we're working on with the Chamber and the Downtown Association, is the sanitation process, because we recognize this is going to be a very important part of the success of this program.
Thank you. All right, we have a raised hand. Angela, is this a new raised hand, Angela, or from earlier?
Oh, no, I think that's from earlier.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry.
No problem at all. As of right now, we actually don't have any questions in the Q&A or any raised hands. So if anyone does have a question and you or maybe nervous about getting in line, you're first up.
Courtney.
Yeah.
This is Dawn. I do want to know, on the ABC license, I know that the chamber is going to be reaching out to find out, get more information and find out how they can assist with finding out what the updates are and if there's a way to, for us to help in any way. Is there anything amongst all of us that the businesses can do in Mountain View to assist with getting more information or asking for support from anyone around moving the ABC license and the street effort forward?
I think it's talking with the county. I think it's letting the county know that this is an important issue for the businesses, and some sort of direction would be appreciated, so that as we move forward through next week and the following weeks, it's having an understanding of what the requirements are.
Okay. Peter, any thoughts on who businesses might reach out to learn a little bit more?
So I think that the first stop is Joe Smidian's office.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, the county has an email address of SCC Coalition. I'll put it into the chat box in a moment. It's an email address that goes directly to the county information service, and that might be worth writing to as well.
Okay. And then, it might be a good time too to ask. We haven't asked where every person that's spoken up so far is from, but most we know. But if you aren't receiving information from the chamber, which is important, but also even more important is the Downtown Association, which you are a member of, we would really like to have your contact information to make sure that you're getting those communications. Because that group led right now by Sarah has been really, really helpful in getting information to business out quickly. So please do let us know. Perhaps even put your information in Q&A so that we have your contact information and be certain you're receiving communications from both. I know that the city sends out postcards, with information as it comes up, but we want to make sure that we can back that up with a lot more detail. So please share that with us.
Yes, very, very important, especially right now, making sure everyone's on the same page. We did have a couple more questions come in. We have one question. I missed the question to the bathroom question. In regards to customers using the restroom, I believe. Mm-hmm. Tiffany, would you like to speak on that?
So I believe the county is allowing restaurants to open up their restrooms to their patrons, and we'll clarify all of this in the information we send out to the businesses.
Awesome. We have another, but are we required to do so?
We'll have to. I mean, we're gonna look at what the county order says, and then I think this whole question of requirement is. I think we'll have to figure this out about what's required and what's not required.
Okay. Let's see here. When will the waiver be ready online for the businesses to sign? Is it starting next Tuesday? And how late can cafes and restaurants use the outdoor tables?
So I'm hoping to have the waiver up probably within the next couple of days. Definitely probably available by Monday for the businesses to sign via email. So once again, that's why it's important for us to make sure that we have everyone's emails. I think we have a pretty good list, but there may be a couple that we don't. So once again, encourage you all to make sure that we have your contact information. And then, so the street closure is starting on Monday, and then the soft opening will happen once we're done with the setup, with the official opening of next Friday. And then how late can the cafe, how late can you all use the tables? The program runs from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Right. Awesome. Thank you so much. Let's see here. Oh, people making sure that they're on our list. Awesome. Thank you. Keep them coming. Let's see. We have a raised hand. So I am going to, Marina, here we go.
Hi there. So I have a quick question regarding the time frame. Can we have seating in our area beyond 8 o'clock?
So if you have a sidewalk cafe permit, yes. So
okay.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
And so I do encourage businesses that, to think about the long term, to think about if you don't have a sidewalk cafe permit, to think about applying for it and starting that process. Yes, there are requirements. Happy to go through them with businesses who are interested. And if we need to have another back to business session just on sidewalk cafe permits, we can also coordinate that as well.
Thank you.
So that's a good seg into permits, because that was some of the feedback that we wanted to gather from attendees today, is gaining some insight on some of the changes to the permitting process that would make it easier for you to be successful. Do we have any feedback around that? Any questions or any raised hands?
Marina, I see your hand is raised. Is this from?
Yeah, it's fine actually. I didn't have I mean, I did ask about, the fees associated with the permit before, and the time frame in which it can be completed. Right now, I'm in a permitting for my personal fencing, and it's taking me over 2 weeks because the city is not necessarily open. So just the communication between different people in the city is taking so long. So my question, I guess, is, can we open and then wait until the permit gets resolved?
I think at this point it's best to get your permit resolved. The city, so the community development department is open. Planning is accepting all applications electronically and conducting inspections. So same thing with the building division. They are accepting all building and fire permits and scheduling business inspections. As a follow-up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to link this information into the chat box, so it's shared with everybody. So I would encourage everybody who's going through the permit process to continue to work through the permit process. And actually, what's helpful on the web link that I had sent to everybody is one, there's updates on reopened city services, but then there's also a chart on differences in current orders about what's the differences between the Santa Clara County order and also the California state order. So it's a pretty comprehensive list of what's open and what's not allowed to open in Santa Clara.
Thank you for that. Marina, I'm going to go ahead and, was that your last question, Marina, for now? No pressure.
Yes. Oh, yes. I didn't know I was still unmuted. Unmuted.
No problem. No problem at all. I'll go ahead and mute you. All right. If anyone has other permitting ideas or changes or really anything permit related, please go ahead and raise your hand. It looks like, oh, we just got one from Mark. It says the sidewalk, my goodness, my apologies. The sidewalk permit cafe requires $4 million insurance coverage, which has cost us an extra $7,000 this year. Thank you for your comment. Let's see here. We have another question. We have a question from Melanie. Says, also, how will this affect retail other than more foot traffic? Yay. Is there anything else we need to know, do, or can tell our customers?
So I think we also want to work with the retail businesses to see if they want to putting the products spill out onto the streets as well. So Melanie, I'll also get into contact with you all. Like I said, I know there's a lot of people I need to get back to that are on this Zoom webinar, but we are putting together some reminders for the community, like social distancing, 6 feet apart, wear your masks. And so we'll make sure that the businesses have these posters also that they can put in their windows, and to remind their customers what we need to do to keep the community healthy.
Definitely. Keeping everyone healthy is really the goal of this as well. We always have to remember that's super important. We have another question from Eric. He would like to go back to the restroom topic. He says, we serve alcohol on our patio. Our restrooms are open to our guests. My concern is we become the street table's restroom. It is a shared responsibility. So, okay, so concern about the restrooms.
I'd say, it's, like I said, there's still a lot of unknowns out there right now. And I think that's the hard part about us moving forward, is that there is a little bit of uncertainty as things change throughout the summer. So as I said, this next week will be a park-like setting, but as we continue to work with the businesses, work with their needs, and we will figure out how to evolve over time throughout the rest of the summer.
Yeah, we have plenty of time to change it and here and there and make it the best possible outcome. So that's a good part about the length of this the street closure. It looks like we have a raised hand. So Marina.
Just a quick, maybe a suggestion as far as restroom goes. If you're afraid of people coming into your restroom that are not customers, maybe you could just require receipts to show a receipt of your establishment, and there you go. Go in. Simple. Unmute me now. Thank you.
You got it.
Has the city considered using some kind of portable restroom solution? Has that been talked about?
We did, but I think at our last conversation with the downtown businesses, there was concerns about the looks and the aesthetics. I believe there will be one at the transit center, but at this point, we decided not to put them on Castro Street because one, it just takes up more space, and if we want to start to dedicate space for the businesses, we'll want to prioritize that over restrooms. And we're also providing hand washing stations, so I think that's going to be an important piece.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay.
Is Sarah on the call to share the feedback that she has gotten from the Downtown Association around permits? I just want to make sure that we wrap that up and that everybody has had a chance to speak to it.
Sarah, I have allowed you to talk.
Hello. Sorry, I was just typing in the chat. You'll see that if anybody's not receiving emails currently from the Downtown Association, I just put the email. You can reply to that with your name and business name just to make sure you're on this list. Because the Chamber does a great job of sharing this information, but if you're not a Chamber member, you're all Downtown Association members through your BIA fees. So make sure you're on that list. Yes, and like Tiffany said, we'll plan these every couple of weeks and keep sharing ideas and keep this dynamic and mobile. And I'm sorry, as I was typing, did you say I was supposed to comment on anything specifically? I wasn't listening for a moment.
I was asking about sharing the feedback you've gotten so far, especially, either about the opening Castro Street to pedestrians or about permitting.
Yeah, and it's changing constantly. Like 2 hours before this meeting, I was talking to somebody at ABC, and I just assumed if you gave somebody a to-go container, that's up to them to manage that carefully. But they surprised me when they said, no, if you participate in the open seating, you're all liable while we investigate. That's concerning to me. So I don't know what to do about that one, except I don't know. I don't have answers on that. And then she also raised awareness that, hey, if it's open seating, it's like a park. Is that following the stay-at-home order? And I think we need to look into that right away. I've already emailed the county health department to verify, so I can alert you all when I find out that. But otherwise, I think this is just amazing. I want to thank Tiffany and the city staff for throwing this together so quickly. I know it doesn't seem quick, but it is when you see the amount of work behind this thing, and they've just been cranking on this and coming up with the best solution possible for the information that we have. So we'll continue to evolve this as we share and see what works and doesn't work, and as policies change. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I'm going to go ahead and mute you. We do have a raised hand from Jean. Oh, no, never mind. Here, the question is now in the Q&A. Can we promote that tables will be in place Monday the 22nd?
I think Jean, what you can do is you can say that the street will be closed beginning June 22nd. And then, like I said, look out for those emails, because I think we're at a critical point where checking your emails is the best thing. We'll definitely get out on the street more in a safe manner to make sure that the businesses all have this information. But definitely check your emails for for all these updates too.
Awesome. All right. Dawn, Peter, Tiffany, is there anything else you'd like to share?
I'd say thank you for to the Chamber and to the Downtown Association for working with me. I know it's been a challenge to get through this and to get to the street closures, so I appreciate the collaborative and positive effort as we're continuing to move forward. And thank you to all the businesses for participating. Your input is very valuable because we do think with the city in mind and the community in mind, but I think it's also important to address what the business needs are.
And I just want to thank everybody for participating. Your comments are extremely important, and we all are after the same thing: a healthy and vibrant Mountain View. And it's by working together that this happens. It's also by you being vocal, and so your comments are really, really important. We need to know what you're thinking. We need to know what you're going through, and we need to know how we can help to make things better. I also want to thank Tiffany for her time today. It's always great to have you and also the city represented in these kind of calls.
I'd want to add on that too, that Courtney's posted that we have our back to business next week, and we're approaching and talking about resiliency tools and ideas share. And I know that we have a lot of tools available to chamber members, and we want to make sure that if you are a chamber member, and if you're not, you should become one, that you are utilizing the tools that are incorporated into your membership, because there are a lot of tools there for you to market your business. And so we hope that you'll join us next week to talk a little bit more about that. And also, Casper, thank you so much for saying thank you. We appreciate that.
Alrighty, well, with that, it looks like we're ending a few minutes early, so I hope everyone enjoyed this. Please register for next week if you are interested. Make sure you're on all of the mailing lists that we spoke about today. And most importantly, thank you for being here, joining us, and giving us feedback, because all we want to do is be able to help and get through this together. So thank you so much. Stay healthy, and remember to keep washing your hands. Bye, everyone.